Madam Acting Deputy President. I want to tell you a horror story tonight, a number of horror stories actually, involving one family in Victoria, and where again our so-called justice system went so terribly wrong. And once again, the victim gets less rights and less protection than a criminal gets. It was bad enough that a little girl was sexually abused by her father for years. But that brave girl and her mother did go to the police, went through the court system, and the father, his name is Alan Robson, the father was jailed for 7 years. They thought he was safely behind bars. The mother and her daughter went to a family funeral, and they were stunned. They were shocked to see her father, her abuser, at that funeral. Nobody had warned them. True, Robson was in handcuffs and he was under supervision with an escort, but nobody had informed that girl or her mother that he'd been let out on day release to attend the funeral. And the victim, understandably, was so distraught she left that family funeral in tears. Now, why wasn't she told? She was on the Victim Support Agency register, so the authorities knew exactly where to contact her. The family then seemed to get the runaround when they sought some answers. They shared genuine fears that there would be more family events, more family funerals, while the pedophile father was in jail, and would they be informed if he applied for day release again? Apparently, Robson was given day release under the Custodial Community Permit Program, CCPP, and not under special funeral leave. The same result, but under that program, a victim on the Victim Support Register does not have to be warned, which didn't make much sense to me, didn't make much sense to the victim, didn't make much sense to her mother. And the victim's mother came to us, and so we followed it up with Corrections Victoria. And we were told, and I quote, "The situation you describe is highly concerning and should not have occurred." And we were told an investigation would be conducted once we provided the prisoner's name and prison details. Well, now we've had a win for victims in Victoria. The Department of Justice and Regulation at Corrections Victoria has advised us that a promised review had, and I quote, "identified shortcomings in upholding the best interest of registered victims." No kidding. So, from now on, in Victorian jails, prison staff must contact the Victim Support Agency before considering the granting of leave for any prisoner under the CCP program, as well as under the Rehabilitation and Reintegration Permits program, and also under the Family Ties Permits program. And it could get a little bit even better for some victims, because in his letter to us, Acting Commissioner Rod Wise also says, quote, "In light of your correspondence, the possibility of extending this change to other permits will be raised with the Assistant Commissioner for further consideration over time." So, it is a victory. I know a small victory, but it is a victory, thanks to the tenacity of a mother and her daughter who brought it to our attention at a time when the rights of prisoners, the rights of convicted criminals, seem to take precedence again and again and again over the rights of the people whose lives they have destroyed. And hopefully that nightmarish experience at that family funeral won't be repeated.
Thank you, Senator Hinch.